And Georgia, from your perspective, is there anything that should be, should there be some form of sanction for organisations that don't respond, that don't follow up? I mean, is there any evidence that would suggest that would be helpful, and what form that might take?
Yeah, definitely. I think we do need a national oversight mechanism, which is where Deb's work comes into place. But in terms of sanctions, we've seen there are other examples and other areas and jurisdictions to look at, particularly Australia. I am an Australian scientist, and we have a big national coronial information system in Australia. So there are other jurisdictions and other evidence bases to draw on in terms of sanctions.
Do they have a sanction element in the Australian system? I know they've got the big databases.
Yeah, so the Australian system doesn't have a sanction purely because when an inquest is held in Australia and that information feeds into this national database, that information, coroners are in Australia write recommendations. In England and Wales, coroners just raise concerns. So they write these recommendations which go into this database. So there is no need, there is no PFD function to say action should be taken, but that database system is used by government departments. It's actively used on the ground, and its change happens because of the wide access to that data. So it's a different function, and it's a much nicer way. Yes, we can implement sanctions. That would probably cost the government a lot of money to do that. I can tell you a lot of more cost-effective ways that things we could do. So sanctions are certainly an option, but I think the power of who actually makes those sanctions would be a little bit complicated and up to our politicians to decide on that. But there is evidence for other probably lower cost, more easy win alternatives.
That's